Hello everyone. Career and growth means nothing if you're not happier from inside. If it doesn't feel any meaningfulness in what you are doing. Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, my guru, says this one thing, that you give your energy, your soul, your time, your efforts to the one top best thing in your life. Don't even think about going for the second best choice in your life. This holds a very deep meaning here for me. Does it make sense to you guys? Okay, so let's dedicate this session to get much deeper and get clarity on how to find your passion, your purpose, and do the energy alignment so that you live a life of clarity, purpose, energy, and happiness in your life. Okay, first of all, thank you so much everyone for joining in today, for tuning in into this live session, which we are going to talk about career and go much deeper into it. Before we go further, I just want to check with my team whether my voice is clear. Am I able to, is my voice clear totally? Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead in that case. So this session is especially for those who are not finding any meaning to what they are doing, even though externally things are good. Okay, it is for those who ran this rat race, who did the comparison and wanted to get something in their life which others have, and now they are like realizing it now, and they want their life, their originality in their life. It is for those who are going through midlife crisis. It is for those who are clueless of what to do next in their life. It is for those who feel lost, who are coming to home after work or whatever they are doing and feeling unsatisfied and worthless in their life. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people are going through this, and they go through this multiple phases, multiple points in their life. That's the very unfortunate part. And I have been part of that as well in my life. Okay, cool. So enough of creating the required excitement and gaining your attention to attend this session with full focus here. So let's dive in. But before we do that, I would request you to stay till the end of the session, because we are going to cover so much, so many powerful tools will be shared here, so many breakthroughs you can have from just one session. So my request to you, stay till the end and absorb the valuable nuggets and transformative tools that I'm going to share today. So ready for this transformational breakthrough session today? Okay. Awesome. So let me just quickly check YouTube live whether things are going fine there or not, and then I can proceed further. Just give me a second. Okay, sounds good. We are all good here. So let's get going. Okay. So let's start today with a very creative graph representation that I would like to show it to you and take the discussion from there. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you just confirm whether you are able to see my screen here? Okay, awesome. So this is a graph which I'm showing here. I want to ask you a question today. What do you think about these positive points? I want to talk about the success, consistency, determination, confidence, persistence in life, happiness, contentment. These are all the positive terms. This is all about career and how to achieve something, how to have growth in all this aspect. So my question to you, I want to ask you here is, on all these points that you see here, what do you think is a common prerequisite or a common thing between all of these? Can you think about it? Can you give yourself like 5 seconds and think about what is the common prerequisite to all of these things? Without that, without this prerequisite, this holds no value. That's my, a little hint to you guys. Can somebody write in the chat window or on YouTube live, if you're on live, what do you think is the prerequisite? Is this common thing? Okay, let me go further. Let me reveal that secret to you. Let me reveal the answer to you here. It is clarity in your life. Now let me just give you a little clarity on why the clarity is a prerequisite to this. Do you think success holds any meaning if if there is no clarity? If you are not clear of what you want to achieve, you will be actually going in circles. So without clarity, success doesn't hold any meaning. It's like you're just going in circle. You are achieving something as a milestone, but ultimate success is not there. What about consistency? Can you actually maintain consistency without clarity? I would say consistency won't last few days or weeks. Just see your New Year resolution. Without clarity, if you take some New Year resolution, how long it lasts? I would say it lasts for till the 2nd of Jan, or maybe that by the second week of New Year. What about determination? Without clarity, determination is actually fake. Without clarity, confidence can lead to dangerous situations. Like there are multiple examples in our history where people had extra confidence in themselves without clarity, without understanding, and they were very dangerous for the world, for the for the whole universe, I would say. Persistence without clarity is not achievable. You cannot be persistent on something if you are not really clear about why you want to do this, why you want to be persistent on something. Happiness without clarity is a very transient phase. Like, for example, uh, taking substances like drinking and all that, that kind of happiness that you get after drinking, after getting drunk, is actually a very transient happiness, isn't it? That's not like happiness with some clarity. Same case with the contentment. Contentment without clarity, it just cannot be attained. If you are not clear, you will be like confused, you will be juggling between one thing or the other, and you will never feel that contentment in your life. Okay, so we got it. What is the prerequisite to all these positive things? Are you guys with me? Does it make sense to you guys? I discussed it in brief right now, but as we proceed with this discussion, you might get a more better understanding of why this discussion, why I am mentioning that this is a prerequisite. Now, let's go further. For clarity, to get a clarity, it's not like you decide for clarity and you will automatically get clarity in life. There has to be a prerequisite to clarity also in your life, isn't it? How do you really achieve clarity? So I would say there are 3 points to really achieving clarity in your life. It might be clarity in your career, it might be clarity in your relationship, in your health, in your financial aspect, in everything there is a clarity needed. But let's specifically stick to career here for discussion's sake, for getting better into the understanding this concept. Now, the prerequisite to getting clarity is actually your openness to try out new things, your openness to accept that there can be something more than what I'm understanding in my life. The other aspect is vulnerability. You need to be a little bit of risk-taking person to really get that ultimate clarity in your life. Without putting yourself into the vulnerable state, you will stay in your comfort zone, you will stay in your secure zone, and you will never know what is there outside of your comfort zone. And you might never reach to that point where you really realize what is your true passion, what is your true purpose in life. Does it make sense? And these two things, with openness, with vulnerability, the third thing is your attitude of trial and error, hit and try. When you are ready to be vulnerable, when you are ready to be open, indirectly you get into the state of trial and error mode, and you try to figure out something. If it doesn't work, you hop onto other thing, and then slowly you try out many different things to really get that clarity in your life. For example, in terms of career, for example, you did some graduation in some field, but now you have 5 different options. Just thinking about security in your mind, you pick one particular choice, you pick one particular career path and stay on it, even if it is not making sense to you, if it is not giving you that happiness and contentment. That's a very bad way to live. Instead of that, you do trial and error, you make yourself vulnerable, you take a pay cut, you may be out of job or out of salary for few months, but after that, when you pick one field with clarity, that is going to be the best possible way to live life, to live that life with clarity, balance, and happiness in your life, isn't it? Does it make sense? Okay. Now, even for these things, there is a particular kind of prerequisite in your skill set, in your attitude that might be required. What would you say? What can you guess are those prerequisites? Are those skill sets or personality traits that you might need to be open to become vulnerable and hit and try in your life? I would say there are 4 things broadly, but there can be more points. I would say it's going to be, one thing is hard work. You definitely need hard work for clarity in your life. You can't go with just smart work here. You really need to, you know, try out different things, spend multiple hours, like figuring out what is your true intention, what is your inner voice calling you. And for that, hard work is needed. You cannot avoid hard work in your life. Second thing is courage and resilience. You will fail at multiple times, multiple points to get that clarity of what is your inner voice calling, what is your passion. And there, resilience is very much needed to help you come back and try again one more new thing, try out one more new thing and fail in that also, isn't it? Next thing is optimism. You need to be very optimistic about life. Otherwise, if you're not optimistic and if you get into negative mindset very soon, you can't stay into that vulnerable zone. You can't stay into that trial and error mode, and you will never be able to reach that ultimate clarity that you need for yourself. And same case with patience. This all thing, to get that clarity in your life, you will need patience within yourself. It's not going to be the case that you will find clarity within 1 month or 2 months or 1 week, 2 week. It might take some few months, or it might take, in some cases, it might take some years as well. In my own case, I took almost 2 years to finalize this profession after my IT career. And I was very patient and I was exploring everything. In some cases, in some situations, you don't have that privilege to to you know uh, to give this a try, because financial responsibilities there is family responsibilities there. So there might not be a situation in your phase of life that this is possible, but there can be other ways, there can be other situations you can do parallelly. Like with your job, you can try out different things, you can be patient, you can do moonlighting kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so this is about clarity, which you definitely need to achieve these positive things in your life. And this is about that theoretically what you actually need to achieve clarity in your life. Does it make sense to you guys or not? If it is, okay, let's go next step. Let's go further from here. Okay, just give me a second. Let me close that. Okay. So you understood. Just a second. Yeah. So you understood what is the main thing that you need to get that success, consistency, happiness, contentment in your life, right? Now, but what we discuss is so much theoretical in nature so far. Like I discussed about, you get clarity, you do trial and error, you be open, you will be vulnerable. But if you are clueless of what you need to try upon, what you need to be open about, what you need to be vulnerable about, to find your purpose of life, to find your passion of life, doesn't make sense. This theory doesn't make sense at all, right or not? Right? So what is the actual thing that you need to do? I didn't share, we didn't discuss so far. So are you really clueless about what to take as a next step? Okay. So I would say, I would like to merge another concept that we discussed in one of the previous sessions. It was actually the episode 2 of Dose of Holistic Living series that I'm having. Today is the 9th session of this Today is the 9th episode of this series. I talked about something in the second episode, which I will mention it here in as a info card after this video gets processed on YouTube. But let's try to talk in brief about what I talked about there. Let's try to merge these concepts. So my another question to you on that topic that I want to talk about. What is the purpose of your life? What is your life's purpose? And let me give you a disclaimer kind of question here. Do you think, is it something like divine energy is treating each one of us individually and God has given some special purpose, like we are born with some God given a special purpose in life? What do you think? Let's take 3 seconds to answer that. So I would say, don't give that much importance to yourself. You are one out of the 8 billion people on this planet. You are just a very small speck of this creation. Don't be so arrogant that God is directly, thinking about you. So let me answer you this question as the most generic way of this answer can be, which will apply to each and every single human being on this planet. Can you think of that generic answer to this question of what is the purpose of your life? And the answer that I'll give you, I bet you that it will apply to each and every single human being on this planet. It's not about your specific purpose and your specific goals in life. Okay, so the answer is, there is only one purpose of each individual's life on this planet, which is to just experience life. But how do we do that? How do we experience life? There is only one way to experience life, which is through emotions. We are emotional beings by nature. At our core, we are emotional beings. So let me repeat what I just said. There is only one purpose of life, which is to experience life through emotions. I would repeat once again, and you can make a note of it. You can make a you can write it on your notebook. The purpose of your life is to just experience life through emotions. Okay. Anything and everything that we do in our life, any action that we take, there is an emotion behind it for which we take. Let's take an example of, you want to go to watch a movie. There is an emotion behind it because of which you want to go to watch a particular type of genre, particular type of movie. There are always like 10 different movie options that you get when you are going to for cinema. It's generally sometimes the most famous movie is coming out, but if your mood is not like to watch a comedy movie, you will not go to watch that movie, isn't it or not? If you are not in a mood to watch an action movie, you will not go to watch that action movie, which is right now becoming so famous and viral and just came out. Another thing is, you want to travel business class. There is a big emotion behind it. You don't travel business class to just travel. You travel business class to either maybe to show off someone, to prove someone, to feel the luxury, to feel the comfort of a business class. There's always an emotion behind taking a particular action. You want to buy a house, there is always an emotion behind it. If I put 5 different people in front of me who are looking to buy a house right now, if I ask each and everyone, each and everyone will give a different reason why they want to buy a house. Someone will say they want to buy a house for feeling secure. Someone will say, I want to buy a house to feel, to have some status. Someone will say, I want to buy a house to for investment. Someone will say, I want to buy a house to show off to someone. Someone will say, they are running through comparison in with their neighbors, and they want to buy a house, bigger house, to show their status. Isn't it or not? So there is always the emotion behind it. Have you ever looked at things with this perspective? Now, if we understand that there is an emotion behind each and every action that we take in our life, there are 2 ways to experience life. So as I said, the purpose is to experience life through emotions. Now, there are two ways to experience life through emotions. One way is intentionally decide which emotions you want to feel and create situations, create scenarios in which you are able to feel those emotions by achieving some goals, by striving towards something specific in life. And the other way, the second way is go through the life based on your compulsive behavior. You know, every single human being is kind of one unique specific personality, and this personality is nothing but some emotional pattern and habits that this particular person goes through on a daily basis. Now, in this second way of living, your life is actually driven by your emotional pattern, your compulsive nature. So in this case, your life will be driven by fate, by this external world, where you are going to stay in the reactive mode based on your habits, based on your compulsive behavior. Does it make sense? Was I able to give you some understanding of what I'm trying to say here? Okay, let's go ahead. So the second way of living is the unfortunate way, but unfortunately 99% of us, of people, go through this way of living where they decide for some material goal, they decide for some external goal, but internally they are driven by their compulsive behavior, by their habits. Their experience of life on a daily basis happens through these habits that they have in life, which is nothing but emotions, some emotional pattern that you have. I don't want to talk about and go deeper into this second way. I want to talk about the first way, which is, in other words, is called as intentional living. Okay. I got some, okay, comment. That's fine. So how to live this intentional living, how to actually decide what emotions you want to feel. So the first step is spend time with yourself. Sit down, spend time with yourself, figure out the emotions you really want to feel in life. But how to do that? Let's take one example, one common case here, where you're already having some goals in life, some dreams, some fantasies in life which you want to achieve, but you're very unclear, you're unsure of really you want to do that, you want to put that much effort, you want to stay, be patient for achieving that goal and spend so much time and energy for it. So in this particular case, I want to ask you to write down, I would request you to write down as the first step all the material goals that you have in your life. Material goals means your dreams, your like how you want to buy a house, you want to do a job in this company, in this city you want to live, in this country you want to move to something like that. This is the material goals you have, right? Now sit with yourself and ask genuinely, honestly, transparently to yourself why you really want to achieve these goals. Why do you really have these goals in the first place? Now, the answer that you need to give, it has to be in a different way that we just learned about it. You figure out enough reasons for what emotions these goals will give you. What is your emotional purpose or emotional reason behind achieving those material goals? You want to move to a different country, let's say Europe or US or any other country. What is actual reason behind it? Is it just to make money? If it is, then figure out an emotion. Making money is like an external goal. What, by having that much amount of money, what is the real thing you want to feel? Is it you want to feel richness? Is you want to feel abundance? Is it like you want to feel like you want to have everything in life? That is the emotion part. That is the feeling part. I want you to figure out for yourself for every material goal that you have in your life. Now, ask yourself, after figuring out that emotion behind a particular material goal, ask yourself, is it worth fighting for to experience those emotions if you achieve those material goals? So you have a material goal and there is an emotion behind it you want to experience. Now that is the second step we figured out. The third step is ask yourself, is it worth fighting for? Is it worth giving this much time, energy, and money? Like you will spend money to achieve that goal initially, right? Is it worth doing that to experience this emotion that you have set for yourself? Okay, after these three steps, if you do it genuinely, I would congratulate you that you did an awesome job. You did a great job. Now, after doing this, you know what will happen? You will be able to figure out few things. You will be able to see some caveats, some issues in the way you have jot down your material goals and the emotions behind it. You will be able to figure out that some goals you have because of influence of the society or your near dear ones or your friends, or it might be because of pressure, or it might be because of comparison with others, which you are doing subconsciously. And there can be other reasons which are not true to true to your heart, which are not truly your goals. You just adopted them, and they are not adapted fully as well. Now here comes the opportunity to really transform your life. Now do this editing into this goal list after you figured out that there is some gap, there is some issue in the way you have your current material goals. What is the edit you can do is you add new goals based on figuring out what is the emotions you really want to feel in life. Next thing is you remove some of the goals that you have. Third thing is you edit some of the goals, material goals that you have, and for which you had some emotional reason behind it. Now you edit that emotional reason why you really want to achieve that goal. So the goal can remain the same, but the reason to achieve that goal might be more deeper, might be more meaningful to you, and create this new list of material goals and the reason why you want to achieve those goals. Does it make sense? So if you do this exercise, it will take some time, it will take some efforts, it will take some inner exploration for you. But if you do this, you know what will happen? You will be much more clear of what you want to do in life, why you want to do that. Is it worth striving for those things? Does it look great? So you will have a life of clarity. You will have a life of balance. You will have a life of like real energy, real excitement, real intensity, and ultimately contentment and happiness in life. Isn't it? Awesome. So do this and share with me in the comments below in this YouTube video that will be uploaded and processed later how this exercise helped you. Did this exercise really give you some clarity? Did this exercise opened up some doors and some new perspective for you? Can you do that? Do you promise me doing that? Okay, awesome. I take that as a promise from you guys, and I would look forward to see those comments, and definitely will address each and every single one of the comments that you put on the YouTube. Now, this is the first scenario we talked about. Now, there is another scenario where you are really clueless about what goals you want to have in life, what is the direction you want to go towards. And one such example for this is midlife crisis. What is midlife crisis? It comes generally in the age of 40, when you are in 40s. And this happens to those people who had some dreams in their 20s, dream job, dream salary, dream bank balance, dream family, dream kids, dream location, dream house, all that is there. And they were able to achieve all of that by the age of 40. Now, after achieving that, they are in a state that जो भी मैंने plan किया था, anything what I was dreaming of and aiming for, everything is done. What to do next? I am literally clueless. I'm literally not finding any passion and happiness and interest in what I'm doing right now. And I am going through some kind of depression. That is a midlife crisis. You know, midlife crisis is not actually midlife crisis. It's emotional crisis. These are those people who created some dreams and goals in their 20s, but they didn't do this exercise of finding an emotional clarity, emotional purpose of why they want to achieve those dreams, why they want to achieve those material goals. Does it make sense? Okay. So For now, what I want to do in this particular case, if you are going through midlife crisis, emotional crisis right now, is now just focus on yourself and deep dive into what emotions you really want to feel in life. So I'm trying to tackle midlife crisis people here who have achieved the dreams and want to give a new start, new perspective, new fresh eyes for yourself for the life ahead. So the next first step for you is just focus and deep dive into emotions you really want to feel in life. New emotion, it can be new emotions or old emotions, but with a more clarity, deeper clarity. Now come up with a list of material goals that you want based on these emotions that you really want to feel in life. So you have a list of emotions you want to feel. Come up with a list of material goals that if you achieve, you will be able to feel these emotions. Got it? This is the second step. Now, after you having emotional goals, which is the first step, emotions you want to feel. The second step is material goals based on these emotions you want to feel. Now you have these two lists. Now do that editing that we did in the other scenario. You really cross check with yourself, think deeper. Is it really making sense? Are these two lists aligned with my emotions and the material goals that I have? Once you do that, do it. Another thing is do it with some realistic situation, some somewhat realistic in nature. They should be, your material goals should be somewhat realistic for feeling those emotions that you have. Now, once you do that with honesty and clarity, you know what will happen? Here you will be out of midlife crisis with a fresh energy and a vision for life. You will be ready to get set go this way. Once you do that, this will be what I will call it as you will be taking inspired actions in your life. So the inspiration is coming from within based on ultimate crystal clarity that you have developed for yourself for really feeling really experiencing the emotions you want to really feel in life. Making sense? Okay. So there can be many different, so we talked about two scenarios. There can be many different scenarios with respect to figuring out your purposeful career path, your ikigai, your passion. What is really your passion? What do you really want to experience by the end of your life? When you are on your deathbed and when you look back, you really want to feel that my life was worth it. My life was worthwhile. For that, there can be many different scenarios, many different paths. We cannot go in all of them and take example of all of them. But what we just discussed so far is in a very brief nutshell of how to build this foundation of getting clarity in whatever you want to do in life. Whether your goals that you have set, are they really aligning with that inner energy, inner emotions, inner emotional uh, intelligence that you have? Do they really align with that? If not, how to make a change in that? If you have goals but the emotions you really want to feel, you are unclear about those, then in that case you will be able to build a deeper clarity on those as well. Making sense? So we worked on the foundation so far. So now I want to share the screen again and make some change into that sheet that we had. Let me just open it. Let me share my screen. So what change we can have it here is, it's not the emotional, it's not the clarity that can help us achieve this thing. It is actually, there is a amendment I want to make. It's actually the emotional clarity in life that will have, that will help us have a sustainable success, sustainable consistency, determination, real, real honest confidence in your life, persistence in life, real happiness, not some fake transient happiness, but really honest happiness and contentment in life. Does it make sense or not? Okay, that's a quick change I wanted to have in this graph that we discussed, but I want to talk about one more real tool of how to get this emotional clarity. We talked about the concepts parts, so far not the real tool to again achieve this emotional clarity. And I want to share one very, very powerful and free and at your disposal kind of tool to really get into that emotional clarity phase as well. Are you guys really ready for it? Okay, let me take a sip of water before we proceed further. Okay, good. So far, so good. Are you guys with me? Okay. So, I want to ask you one more question. Do you know how many thoughts we get on a per day basis on a normal day without any stress or anxiety for a normal human being? Not like a scientist person who thinks a lot. You'll be surprised to know an answer. On an average, every single human being on a normal day have 70,000 thoughts per day. In 24 hours. We get these many thoughts. And it's like intangible form of cloud on your head. You can just imagine it like a sack of big like thoughts. This is there on your head. And now you think that you can get clarity, think very clearly from this, just thinking through within your hand and take a decision. I would say it's not that easy. It's like you will be bluffing yourself a lot of times. You'll be conflicting with yourself and reiterating and going in circles to take just one decision if you just try to think from your head. So the tool I want to talk about is very simple at your disposal, which is writing. What writing does is it converts an intangible form of cloud of thousands and thousands of thoughts into a tangible reality for any aspect that you want to get clarity on. If you are into a decision making phase for anything, like for job switch, for career switch, for deciding for marriage, for deciding for whether to get married to this girl or boy, that particular thought is actually lost in the thoughts of like cloud of many different things that goes on in your life. Now, when you do writing for this particular aspect, for this particular question, you will be able to bring out only 10, 15, 20, 30 points from thousands and thousands of thoughts. And that makes it as a tangible reality that you can read and think upon those particular points, isn't it? Writing is an amazingly powerful tool. To-do list that we talk about is also that. To-do list is like, without to-do list, on Sunday you will be thinking about I have to achieve 100 different tasks in a week and you will get overwhelmed. But when you create a to-do list for yourself, you will be able to divide those 100 tasks, even if you have, which generally you don't have, but even if you have 100 thoughts, you will be able to divide them into, for example, 10, 12 tasks per day. And then achieving those 10, 12 tasks per day can be achievable, and you will not feel overwhelmed. You will not feel confused. You will have a structure. You will have a process to go through and be able to achieve those 100 tasks in that week also. Does it make sense or not? Okay. So now the way I use writing as a tool, the way you can use it can be a real weapon for you in life. Let me tell you one real example instead of just talking theory here. I used writing this tool as my weapon in the darkest phase of my life to decide on one important aspect of my life that at that time and still now, like I would say, it changed the whole life. It changed the trajectory of my life. It changed the way I experience life totally. So I'll talk about this example of when I was in a phase of whether to continue my marriage, which was previous marriage, or to break it off. Okay. I want to be transparent and give you value. So I am just opening my heart up and sharing everything about my personal life with you guys. So I would trust you to not to really take some value from it. Okay. So but it's not about this particular example. I want to just break it down. How I used writing as a tool and other theory part that we discussed about clarity, emotional clarity. But I want to say that this particular way of doing things, of making a decision, can be applied to anything and everything that you have to make a choice upon. Okay. And at the end of this exercise, you will be able to get an answer from yourself. And this specifically applies to those kind of choices where you cannot get any help from others. You can just get help from yourself. You only have an answer to it, but still you are yourself confused or not able to make a decision. Okay. So let's take this example. For any question, any this big decision, anything decision making process, you have one question which you can divide into four questions or four quadrants in life. So in my case, there are four questions that I answered for myself, which is advantages of staying in my marriage. That is first question or first quadrant. Second quadrant is disadvantages of staying in my marriage. Third one is advantages of breaking this marriage. And fourth one is disadvantages of breaking this marriage. Okay, let me give you a disclaimer here. I'm married now. I'm very, very happily married, and I'm just having a gala time in my relationship. This is I'm talking about. I had a divorce, a previous marriage, and I'm taking example of that darkest phase of how I came up with the clear decision for myself at that time. Okay. So now these are the four quadrants. How to go about it is, you don't sit in one time and write down points for all these four aspects or four quadrants of the same question that you have. You will feel that for two of the quadrants, answers might be the same. Disadvantages of staying in the marriage and advantages of breaking the marriage. You feel that their answer might be same, but it's not going to be the same. If you really, really think of one aspect at one point of time, you will come up with different points for each and every quadrant. Some of the points might be similar, but they can be 80% different. That's my commitment and guarantee to you. How you have to do it is, in one sitting, you just pick one quadrant, one question type, and answer that only. Stay in that zone, stay in that mindset, and answer as much points as you can add to that quadrant. So you need 4 sittings for filling up all these 4 quadrants. Now you just don't sit one time and fill up the quadrants. What I did is, I took 3 to 4 weeks to coming up with the full list of answers for these 4 quadrants. You know, each quadrant one sitting, right? But I sat multiple times so that new perspective comes up to me, new idea comes up to me. Maybe I talked with some people, maybe I watched some YouTube videos, maybe I watched some Sadhguru, my Guru, Sadhguru's videos on YouTube, and maybe other sources. And new perspective, new ideas came to me. And I might have talked to some senior friend or some relative, and some new idea came to me. So I took 3 to 4 weeks to come up with a comprehensive list for each of these 4 quadrants. You know what happened at the end of this exercise? I was million% clear of what I need to do next, what decision, what choice I need to make. I didn't need anyone's suggestion at the end of it. Since then, after taking that decision, there was not even 1% doubt or revisit or regret to the decision I took at that time. I took a decision of breaking off that marriage at that time. And I can say it was really the best decision or good decision based on what current state I am in. The happiness, the clarity, the contentment that I have in my life, I can definitely say that it was the right decision for me. Okay. And the decision was, it's not objective in nature. It's very subjective. You have to do the inner work for it. Okay. Since then, I am using this writing tool and coming up with decisions for by making this 4 quadrants for any choice I want to make. Since then, I'm using the tool. I'm amazingly doing my decision making process. Proudly, I can say that I didn't have any regrets or any any regrets on any decisions that I took in last 4 years. Every single time, whatever decision I took using this exercise, and I'm mostly doing it on writing or sub. Now my mind is so trained to figure out these four quadrants within my mind, and I'm able to do that. And none of the decisions I'm having any kind of regret on. Isn't that like really blissful and amazing way to live in life? That's what I'll call as intentional living, living with a purpose, alignment with the logical and emotional energies, alignment of my inner world and the external world. And I can definitely say I'm really having happiness. Anxiety, depression, stress is actually remote to me now. I go to sleep in a very wholesome and contentment way and with a lot of satisfaction in my life. Even though externally things are not going good, even then I am able to live life very happily now. I can say I'm having a holistic living right now. Okay, so this exercise, the way I did it, you can really do it in any type of decision making process you are in right now. Some can take just few hours. Some decisions can take few months or few weeks or few, like not more than months, I would say, not more than a month. Uh, be it your job switch, be it your working hard for a promotion you want to get in your company, or career switch, or just totally switching between job and business, uh, marrying a particular girl or not, or even deciding whether to get married or not, or whether to go on a trip, or preparing for this competition exam or not. Any type of decision you have, like big decision, not like whether should I wear this shirt or that shirt, not those type of daily quick decisions. I'm talking about big decision that will change your experience of life, that will change your trajectory of life, that will change a bigger aspect of your life. Okay, you can use this exercise to do that, and trust me, you will be able to come up with your decision, your choice, which, whether it makes sense to others or not, you will be having that confidence, that clarity, that alignment, that energy, that lightness spark within you, that you won't budge on your decision. You will have that ultimate clarity with you. I want to request you to write down one sentence, one quotation that I love and deeply resonate with and live my life on a daily basis upon. Write this sentence down. When you have a strong why in life, why make why as capital and underline. When you have a strong why in life, you are ready to go through any how to achieve it. Make how also capital and underline it. So I would repeat, when you have a strong why in life, you are ready to go through any how to achieve it. Does it make sense to you guys? Okay. So this is from one of the very favorite novel of mine, which is Man's Search for Meaning, which is written by Viktor Frankl, which is a Holocaust survivor from the Second World War. So this sentence, so I deeply resonate with, and it makes so much sense to me that this why here means like you build that emotional clarity, emotional why for whatever you want to do in life. If you have a very deep clarity, very deep understanding of why you want to achieve something, why you have this particular material goal, you are going to go through any struggles, going through any challenge to achieve it. Whatever be the case, you will achieve it. You will not give up on the way. You will not get fear. You will not get afraid. You will not leave your consistency. You will not leave your perseverance and persistence to achieve it. So that's the packed session from my side today. We talked about big concepts and amazing tool to achieve decision making, to really achieve that career alignment with your passion, with your purpose. If you really do this exercise, it's going to take time, it's going to take efforts, it's going to take your energy. But if you really do that from the core of your heart, I can bet that you are going to figure out something which is going to be which is going to give you so much purpose and meaningfulness to whatever you are doing. As you remember the first sentence I said, Sadhguru says, you do the only and only the best possible choice, the number one choice that you have in your life. Don't compromise for the second best option, because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you'll not feel your life worthwhile and you will have regrets. You know, it's not that important to focus on earning a living. We are the living beings who are most highly gifted with our consciousness, with our capability. Earning a living can be a very simple thing for us. But if you make your passion your career, money will come. It will cascade upon you in abundance. You will have a life of clarity, that abundance, that happiness. And that's what really matters. At the end of the day, you will not take money with you. At the end of the day, you will take your experiences, your emotions with you, and die peacefully. That's what I can say. So I hope I was able to give you a lot of amazing tools, some bulb on moments, some insight into what you might be lacking in your life. But that's just I just scratched the surface part of how to really go about it. What are the kind of tools which can help you achieve this, to achieve that ultimate clarity, ultimate passion for yourself in life. It's not possible in the scope of this live session to cover everything. There are tools, there are like ways to figure out each and everything. There are ways to tap into your subconscious mind to really hear your inner voice. There are things like accountability and push in the right direction required to really achieve that ultimate clarity in life. And I am with a coach. I am with my coach since 2021. I had one coach. I switched some coaches, and but I'm having multiple coaches for different purpose in my life right now. And they have changed the way I used to look at life. They have changed the way I used to live my life. And that's what you need sometimes. You need that expert guidance, expert suggestion, expert support for you. So I would request you to, like, you feel free to reach out to me via WhatsApp if you feel like I can really help you. And if you think you need help in this aspect of your life or any aspect of your life to get clarity and confidence, and you have reached that state of enough is enough, going through this directionless, stressful struggle of life. And to connect with me, you can find this link to connect with me in the description of this YouTube video that you are watching right now, live video, or you are going to watch it later. At the end, I am really grateful for listening to me and staying till the very end. Please, please do like, comment, for any question, or if you found this session really useful and you had takeaways from it, I would love to hear your comments. You can share it to the ones who are really in need of this, and I would request you to definitely subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, to get this frequent updates from me, getting amazing videos and life enriching tools from me. These small favors from you really, really help me to do more and more and give you more and more, come up with more and more amazing concepts and tools about holistic living. It means a lot to me if you can do these small favors to me. Uh, so now let's wrap up this session. I would take any questions if you guys might have. I'm checking my Zoom meeting, or let me check my YouTube. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Shruti ji, for joining. Thanks. You are feeling motivation and clarity from the session. If you have any question, you can ask now. This is the right time. If you haven't, I'll just wait for 10 seconds if you guys have any questions. If not, I would love to see you again in another amazing session with amazing value that I can share with you to upgrade your life at least by 1%. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, I think we don't have any questions. A lot of people joined on YouTube. That's amazing to see. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I would see you again with another topic another time. Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.